Perhaps Less Than Three has already come up with a counter strategy. But then again, these maps aren't the same as the ones they faced it. Well, they faced each other on in the first round. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, for sure. And especially since we are in our brackets, we are in best of 5 now, so we are going to be seeing a longer set and just more content for us in general and really to
Yep.
see this struggle between both these teams. And like I kind of mentioned before, and like you mentioned, Snug, a little bit of adaptation, but moving things along, we will now introduce Fisk to
Yes. Please
tell us
do give
a
them a
little
round
bit
of
of
applause.
insight onto Whale Shark Warriors. So thank you for joining us, by the way.
Hmm.
Hello, everyone. I'm the director of this program, but more importantly, the team manager for Whale Shark Warriors. This team is actually a four-player team, which is different from like the five players we usually aim for every other team. During the process, like the 6 weeks, one player actually like was unavailable and unfortunately had to leave the team. But I'm really proud of like the other four remaining players. They've managed to do the program that was intended for five players as a team of four, and they've had like a really good experience growing together and improving along the way.
Hmm. So, if I may ask a question, do tell us about your team in general. Could you perhaps give us a quick introduction to the teams, well, to the players?
Absolutely. So Zura, I think, is the most important player on the team and the most interesting in terms of the comp and the team's playstyle.
Mhm.
Because if Zura goes on Sploosh and is like, I'm not sure what comp they're gonna run today, but I think it's gonna be Zura on Sploosh, and Zura Sploosh goes crazy. It's like
Hmm.
I've never seen something more destructive than Zura Sploosh. Um, so do watch out for that. I'm expecting it to like cause some havoc today. For the other team members, uh, we like most of them in terms of the comp they're trying to play are honestly just there to support Zura Sploosh, at least in the comp that they're mostly running these days, I think.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
really interesting there. I'm really interested to see, like you mentioned, Zora Sploosh there, and I would make the comparison. I've seen a very predominant Sploosh player, I believe goes by the name Enraged Jeff. Seen them a lot around and they've shown me how well Sploosh can play. As obviously Sploosh isn't the most common weapon you see at all in ranked or even in any tournament setting, but Enraged Jeff is able to cause that disruption you want. So I'm kind of expecting to see the same thing out of Zura, like you so mentioned there, but. Something interesting, obviously, you probably know that these your team, Whale Shark Warriors, have faced LessThanThree already in our first round and did narrowly win 2-1. What can you kind of expect to see in terms of their team and what adaptations do you think, or what lessons do you think you've learned from that previous set?
Absolutely. I think I think those teams are really close together in terms of skill level. And
Hmm.
there's honestly like a really big rivalry between the two. Honestly, between like all European-based teams, so that would include the Get Squad as well. But between those two teams that we have on right now, the rivalry is like really big, a really big friendly rivalry. And I'm really excited to see how the set goes. At the start, when we scrimmed them at the start of the program, like around 5 weeks ago, it was honestly more in LessThanThree's favor. But throughout the weeks, um, like Whale Shark Warriors have adapted and have managed to get more and more consistent scrim results against LessThanThree. So I'm really excited to see how the set goes. I think we can definitely win this as we also did in the Swiss stage earlier, but it's definitely going to be a close match.
Hmm. Well, that covers about all of our questions, and whether we didn't even ask half of them.
Yeah, pretty
Anyway,
much. I'm just kind of curious though. Any of these, I mean, I don't know if you seen the maps that we have available for us. Our first map will be for everyone out there. Splat Zones, Robo Ramen. Any really keys you want to see from your team at all? I mean, you mentioned how you wanted the rest of the team to support Zura and their Sploosh, but any keys, especially on Robo Ramen, where the passageways can be very narrow?
I think the key what I want to see from Whale Shark Warriors this map and the other maps as well is really to utilize the flanks. Because on Roboram, the mid fight is very cramped and very small, and the flanks are kind of the only way around, where they're very sneaky. And if you like play around the flanks a lot, then the enemy team will really have to respect that. And I think that will be the key for Dura on the Sploosh, and for everyone else to just lock down the middle there.
Mhm.
I see. How do you think that it's going to go on Clan Blitz, though? Because we didn't have a single Clan Blitz game in Swiss, I do believe. So this is a new mode for them. Well, at least a mode that is going to be fresh for them in this set.
That's definitely gonna be a lot weirder. Clan Blitz in this game, honestly, is very difficult, and especially for like the kind of lower level teams that we have in this program. It's going to be difficult to bring up like all the coordination that this mode really requires. However, I do think that on Umami Clan Blitz, what will be coming up in set like game 2, it is a bit more manageable because the choke is a very easy point to defend. And for pushing, it's kind of the same idea. If you get through the choke, it's going to be a lot easier. And I think we're going to see. I hope that they're going to pick strikes on that map. We're going to see hopefully strikes be the key to pushing there.
I see.
Yeah, and I can especially see that comp working especially well on Humpback Pump Track, with it kind of being like a gladiator coliseum, basically just allowing these closer range weapons like the Sploosh, like you mentioned, to really focus up and work around it. I know you mentioned that you aren't exactly sure what type of comp that your team might be bringing here, but maybe an insight of one of them?
Well, I don't want to reveal everything as well.
Just keep it the secrets
Yeah,
there
keep
and
it
let
close
it
to the
play out.
chest,
I
yeah.
like it. I like it. It keeps. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna be surprised by it, as are you. But yeah, I think that'll just about do it for us here, at least for this interview. Thank you for joining us and giving us a little bit of insight on this matchup, because I'm just excited to get right into it as well.
I'm certainly interested,
Absolutely. Excited to see this as well.
Sounds good. Thank you. But with that being said, we will be hopping into this matchup soon enough. Now, taking a look at LessThanThree on their team, I'm really interested to see what they run as well in terms of how they did in Swiss stage. Like I mentioned earlier, they did lose their first matchup between these two teams, but I'm really interested if we can see a little bit of a bounce back here. And since we have more maps to be played, we see there Game 4 and Game 5 being TC, Inkblot Art, and Spot Zone's Mako Mart. Really interested to see if this can go all 5 games, because that's just what I want to see in general. Just good competitive Splatoon and just closely fought sets.
I agree. Like, it's regardless of which game it is, it's always interesting to see a set go to final game, because you know that's either an even fight or just a clutch factor started to happen. And you never really know. You never really know what really lights the fire that is a game 5 situation. But it's always intense. I think we both agree on that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like Fish kind of mentioned, our eyes, and I'm sure everyone's eyes, is going to be on Zura, on that Sploosh there. And another thing about Sploosh is just how fast it can really get in with that stamp and with that curling bomb, really just pop up out of nowhere. But let's see if they will be running just that. There it is, right there, the Sploosh plus the Mint Decapitator. On the other side, we interestingly see pancakes on the bow, which is not often what you see on teams, but can provide that kind of artillery fire.
Yeah, we are seeing almost standard comp outside of the Sploosh, of course. But remember, Robo-Roman, we have, fair amount of open space, so the Sploosh does have room to get around bombs and anything else that is trying to keep it out, but you need to be careful, and already a solid pick on the decal.
Yeah, also managing.
Comes out really early. Wait, is there a charge on that? Because that was really, and then again, Sploosh.
Yeah, the Sploosh getting 3. Sploosh getting 3 there, 2 with the stamp, and then 1 with a quick cleanup there, and Whale Shark Warriors will have control of the zone and now trying to set themselves in there. Really well done there from Zura, already making their
goodness,
presence well known.
Careful, yeah, I do believe that was an instance of don't bunch up, watch those suctions. Because you saw what happened there, I do believe, I'm not sure, it might have been the Dread that threw that suction bomb? Oh, Hammer coming out right again, does not even hesitate. Misses the jump swing, let's see, oh no, ditches the Hammer, knows they're not getting any value, and goes to charge another. That's something I'm liking already with Zura. They know that Hammer isn't going to get any more value, decides to cut it short and throw it.
Yeah, with the quick wipeout as well now, eating away at their penalty. Whale Shark Warriors have been settling themselves super well now with the bubble as well and the tri-strikes to further delay and disrupt LessThanThree. However, they will lose their splash. Keeley, they have that, they have the specials available to retake, however, LessThanThree, that is, tri-strikes will go out, and so will that reef slider to try to retake the zone. 2 players will fall, and just like that, LessThanThree are back into the zone, and more players from Whale Shark Warriors are falling. I believe that is now a delayed wipe. Yes, that is, and now LessThanThree can try to pull off this comeback.
Yeah, that was a very clean maneuver, actually. You saw very little resistance. I mean, that was not even saying that was on purpose from Whale Strike. I do believe they were just completely forced out, given that their sploosh had been taken out. Now we have Sploosh dropping down right, and ooh, looks like another Hammer. Are they going to start swinging? Yes, they will. Wait, Dread actually manages to get away. That's very concerning, because now, again, there's no paint. They've lost their slash. Wait, Sploosh is in zone trying to contest, but look out, here comes a Reef. Oh, no, Reef actually gets punished and traded off.
Yeah, but Keeley as well, LessThanThree have taken the lead. 2 players still stand for them, now just 1. Ari on this T-Tech just has to try to provide these drums for LessThanThree. However, they are eventually forced back as Whale Shark Warriors will quickly take the zone. There's Zerlet again on that stamp, just trying to find a target. Won't quite find one. Elects to go for the throw. Won't find a target there, but now with a little bit less than half the match to be played here, the pressure is on Whale Shark Warriors to make a good hold, especially since you see at the top of your screen all these specials light up for LessThanThree. 1 player, Zero, falls to that reef slide of the tri-strikes go in as well to quickly retake that zone, and now the penalty and the pressure still on Whale Shark Warriors as LessThanThree clamp down.
Yes, I agree. They were not hesitant with those special usage. Again, off the they were in great position to use them. I'm thinking that I think the fact that they just weren't pushed back far enough. Maybe again, it's hard to tell because again, strikes is such a long range special. You can really struggle to dislodge the user, especially depending on the weapon.
Yeah, for sure. And now Whale Shark Warriors are actually almost out of the penalty here. This tri-strike is just here just to try to delay the push that LessThanThree, the counter push that LessThanThree is trying to go. But Zura is here with the stamp to apply even more pressure, managing to find the T-Tech, but tries to get away, not quite there. But the damage has already been done as with the attention focused on them. The attention for LessThanThree is not on the zone as Whale Shark Warriors could go for the knockout here. 3 ticks remain and no players seemingly in the area. Whale Shark Warriors will take game 1 in the semifinal set.
That was a great play. Unfortunately, they did not focus down the Hammer, which was also eating a lot of their damage and forcing them to scatter. Because you can't afford to stay in front of a Hammer, regardless of what weapon you are. If that Hammer has gotten close enough to you, you are either going to get stamped yourself, or you're going to kill them. It's a really 50-50, and I don't think any of the players wanted to take that chance. They got scattered and picked off.
Yeah, as well. I want to also highlight Whale Shark Warriors, at least their mid decavitator. I'm going to butcher this name. I apologize. I believe that was Tempkin, something like that. Whoever, I'm sorry in advance. But the mid decavitator, their bubble placement was just completely on point there. Being able to bounce off of Zura's sploosh really effectively and allowed them to create that space that sploosh does lack in terms of trying to fight that range, especially since we did see that bow coming out from LessThanThree. It might have proven challenging to get that sploosh in, but we saw there how well Whale Shark Warriors can play around that sploosh and kind of put them up as that star player.
Well, sploosh is one of those weapons that's fairly self-sufficient in mobility. Even without its sub, it can pay for itself. And let's not forget those sploosh warriors who just who just shoot strafe everywhere and you can't seem to hit them. Why? I don't know. But apart from that, you've also got the decav who was playing a very closely to the sploosh, well, as best they could, trying to keep up, while also covering their bases, making sure that anybody who the sploosh either failed to reach or didn't manage to trade off, they were able to pick up afterwards. Because sploosh is one of those weapons there that gets in your face, does damage, and even if they die, they are most likely running quick respawn, so they're coming back quickly. So it's definitely a very big problem weapon if you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, 100%. And let's actually shift our focus now to Game 2 Clan Blitz Umami Ruins. Now, we've seen previous Clan Blitz matches played in Swiss groups, but something that's really interesting about this one particularly, we saw two mid decapitators, one on each side, and with the bubble on that kit, it is going to be really, really key for those players to try to create space for their team to really have a safe jump in, especially near the basket here on Umami Ruins, because that bubble, if placed correctly, can just be the life or death or the lifeline of any team's pushes.
Agreed. It's, well, we all know Clan Blitz. It's one of those modes that requires a lot of coordination, and especially in solo queue where it's difficult to communicate, it comes off of positioning. Positioning is definitely key here, knowing where clams are, knowing when they're going to come up. And I'm definitely interested to see how these teams, adapt around a sploosh in this mode, because you want to push people back and maintain control of the area in front of basket. So let's see how they decide to hold their own.
Yeah, I believe same comps coming out from both sides. I believe the only change might be Kasha on that custom blaster there, maybe allowing that splashdown to create even more space here on top of that mid decapitator bubble. But already off to a hot start. We see Zura immediately going in, taking that 1-for-1 trade, but will go down in that scrum. And actually now numbers advantage on the side of LessThanThree, as they will take the majority of mid here, and with it, the clams.
Yeah, strong fighting in the middle, Zura electing to enact the torpedo move. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working, as a Reef does claim 2 lives, and wait, actually no, good defense. Good defense. I thought that was a 3-man for a second, but no, it looks like they're trying to fend them off. But a very, very big amount of clams going into the basket here.
Yeah, solid defense nonetheless, but still, the damage has been done by LessThanThree, knocking it down to 53, and that is below the initial threshold that you want. You want to be under 60, because if you still have over 60 points remaining, you can easily get counterattacks, especially since now Whale Shark Warriors has that pity clan. But good job for them now being under that threshold. But still, they are not giving up mid here, but Kasha has something to say about it.
Yeah,
we'll find the mid decapitator, will get quickly traded, and now Zura is moving in with the stamp, and this could lead to a push, and it needs to happen now, though, especially with that bubble being up, but the ball is not there in yet. Now it is.
Yeah, I do believe a player just respawned, so they're going back, and the clam is coming in, but does the jump actually make it? Good throw! Lead switches. But we need to be careful here, because it looks like LessThanThree is going to push you out. But I don't think Kasha wants to leave easily, but you've got 2 people, and you can't really do that as a blaster. Especially from 2 different angles.
And the back and forth continues now. LessThanThree has their pity, elects to pick it up early here. 3 specials online for them here. You will see the Killer Whale trying to open things up, trying to retake mid here, as Whale Shark Warriors, although they initially got 3 members down here on that push, they're able to at least hold on control of their side of mid, and they're just halting this advance as actually 2 players go down from either side. Yet again, the hammer finds another victim, managing to find the mid decapitator on the side of LessThanThree. Now both sides actually have a ball, so now we're a little bit stuck in neutral here. Maybe just both teams just trying to feel out each other, trying to find an opportunity to strike.
Yeah, I also want to quickly point out how Zura used their hammer to just actually prevent the decal from maintaining a foothold and getting their teammates back in their full position. But regardless, we've got a whale coming out again, trying to create an opening, but the only weapon that actually goes down from it is the weapon that struggles to move. Decap and Sploosh stay alive from it, and they just don't get chipped. Oh, good shot though! Kasha goes down again.
Yeah, and still here, the pressure is on LessThanThree to make it pushy, but still plenty of time to really work with here, especially if you get a player down. Actually, 2 players will fall. Now it's just left to the pencil and the sploosh on the side of Whale Shark Warriors to try to hold the fort here, but they are holding it pretty effectively as Zura yet again finds another hammer, manages to find one, tries to find another, but the ball is sneaking its way there and will find the goal, but will there be any follow-up? It doesn't look like it, as Whale Shark Warriors have been able to just keep out LessThanThree, although they were able to get a ball in. It doesn't really do much to the score, as that just really ate away a little bit at their penalty.
Also, Zura, again, just weaving their way into the enemy line, just forcing one of them to turn around and deal with them. Again, a quick respawn. Actually, no, that wasn't quick respawn, because they did get a frag. Although, Tempium... Oh, it does get out! Actually, very close. That was a very close one. Splash down to stay alive. Doesn't work, unfortunately. And, yeah, they're looking to make another push. Oh, no. Bubbler goes down again. That is a very, tiny bit slow, I think, on the trigger rate. But apart from that, again, solid push coming out from LessThanThree. Looks like they may actually formulate a ball here. They need to be careful with taking chip.
Yeah, I believe this is Osshus just trying to go in, try to create space with that dredge. Will unfortunately go down there. A minute left in this match here, and LessThanThree's time is running out. They need to at least maintain control of mid here and the clams, but still, we have all these specials available for Whale Shark Warriors. You see that hammer in the pocket of the Sploosh yet again, trying to make a play here, but they do have a ball in the hands of Tahoe. I believe that is the pencil player.
Yeah, hammer comes out. But it gets cancelled by a good amount of spacing. Like, we saw that. They were ready for that hammer, unfortunately, but looks like they are coming back due to a well-used tactical.
Indeed here, but it is now crunch time, so now maybe the time is ticking now for LessThanThree to make a move here. The ball, though, is dropped, so now another player needs to pick it up. The Min Decapitator just trying to create space. The ball is formed. Another one is formed with that. The lead here late in the game. 10 seconds left. Only the pencil is alive for Whale Shark Warriors, and they will be forced back, just forced to hold on to that ball to have any chance left in overtime. And once LessThanThree saw that time ticking down, they saw they had to make a move now. It is all on you, Whale Shark Warriors. You need to make a push, and you need to go in now. You see all these members trying to go in. However, they will lose their custom blaster, so no more splashdown to create space. We see here the Min Decapitator and the Dredge on LessThanThree, just trying to keep them at bay, and time is dwindling down for them to make a move. They need to go now, but this Min Decapitator is there to clamp the doors shut, and just like that, we are now evened up 1-1.
Yeah, that was very interesting. The hustle was definitely on, and they made a great use of that bubbler. Finally, that's the thing. I think they were trying to get that push going at the end, right at the start, like multiple times. But I think just things weren't lining up. Either a shot had gotten through when the decaf was just about to put their bubble down, or maybe a bomb got in. That tends to happen. Like, just because you get your bubble down doesn't mean you're immune. Does not mean you're invincible. It can really it depends on timing. Goodness, even a single bow shot getting through getting in the bubble before it goes up can mess up your day. That kind of push definitely needs a lot to go right, but it definitely did go well in the last few seconds.
Yeah, the pressure from the bow was on point, but I also, yet again, want to highlight Osshus on that dredge. And something a little underrated about it, you saw the reef slider coming in over and over and over, and it may not have gone to pick every single time, but you know what it did? It quickly shut down the Min Decapitator's bubble. That is the key right there. Being able to just cancel out a entire special with your own is just what allowed them to really get in there on that last second push as the waning seconds of the time was going down, and ultimately, which it put Whale Shark Warriors in a really, really poor spot as they had to travel the entirety of the map to even have a chance at the basket, and at that point, LessThanThree just waited for them to fall into their lap.
Yeah, indeed. Reslider is one of those specials that you use it fully expecting to get picked off afterwards, exactly like Splashdown, unfortunately. But it is such a scary thing. It's a big hitbox that does a lot of damage, even if you don't get hit by the lethal portion. Like, you take a significant amount of chip if you get caught by that, and it's like, I mean, like you said, the ability to just cancel certain specials like hammer going well. If you hit the hammer, use a head on, going through bubbles, destroying them, and just being able to completely ignore certain damage radiuses and go and just come out on the other side with a big hitbox of your own. That is a very strong thing to pull off, especially in chokeholds.
Yeah, and I'm fully expecting to see even more chaos here on Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker, because this is where specials such as Stamp, such as Reef Slider, such as Big Bubble can really come into play here and get so much value on Humpback Pump Track. I like to nickname it the Gladiator Coliseum because that's just what I think of here. It is just an absolute ink bath in mid, just players popping up left, right, and center. You have to be on your toes, and especially you need to keep focus if you are LessThanThree on that sploosh, which they were able to do there fairly effectively. The sploosh's hammer did give them a little bit of trouble, but besides that, ultimately were able to space themselves wisely to make sure that Stamp didn't get that much value.
Agreed. I do believe this is probably going to be the map out of all five here where the Sploosh is going to have the biggest amount of trouble, because like Humpback Pump Track may have a great midsection for mobile weapons, but the second you get into the choke points, you're going to start wanting a longer range bomb than a curling bomb, unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe it can allow them to get in, maybe do a little backstabbing here and there, just allow them to just have that pressure. No, I like to compare Sploosh to kind of these more assassin weapons. You may be thinking of like Carbon
Mm-hmm.
Roller Deco, maybe an ink brush here and there. Just you need to worry about it. And even just the presence of the weapon is enough to have teams really just try to find them, maybe just waste some time a little bit inking around just to make sure that they are out of the game. But once that sploosh is taken care of, LessThanThree really have the ability to move in, especially on a mode such as Rainmaker of how volatile it is. Keely on this map, once the first checkpoint is popped, the true battle really begins towards that goal, because this goal is very, very notorious for being a very, very tight chokehold.
I'm interested to see how LessThanThree is going to approach this, because they need to be careful, because weapons that just tends to materialize next to your Rainmaker player. So let's see how they approach going through choke points and taking corners. We actually see a comp change though. We see Pumpkin on Carbon Deco, which is not exactly uncommon in Rainmaker as a weapon, at least.
No, not at all. I was talking about it in the middle, just a little bit earlier there, and it could provide a little bit of sharking ability, maybe to counteract that sploosh here. Keely, though, on the other side, pretty much an almost overhaul of weapons. You see the Nautilus for the splashdown. You see the Gal as well for a little bit more killing ability, and I believe that Z and F scope for those strikes, which can allow themselves to go in. We see, though, Ulta taking things into their own hands, managing to find one, and off of that pick, LessThanThree are able to move in. That splashdown, Keely taken down by that Rainmaker pop, and now with 3 players down, it is almost a red carpet way as LessThanThree are trying to move towards that goal.
Be careful. Like, they've got to be careful. They've already let themselves get pushed left so that LessThanThree can forge a path. The Whaleshot Warriors definitely need to pull something out here. Although, there's another reslider, and the Rainmaker is still alive. You've got a counter ticking down, and they need to push forward.
Yeah, Pancakes, the Rainmaker carrier, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. The players are falling from both sides, and now Pancake decides to make their move. However, the Killer Whale will stop them in their tracks and will take them down there. Now that push will lose some momentum, but still, what a great opening push from LessThanThree. I believe they just delayed Whale Shark's Warriors and just dislodged them so effectively that it really just put all the pressure on the individual players to try to make a play, as they weren't able to really coordinate with each other. We see here Pumpkin making their presence known with this Carbon Deco and how powerful of a weapon it can be, but quickly taken out.
Yeah, I do agree. They made a great, they held great, and now they just need to figure out a way to work their way through mid, because I think this is where they're struggling. But Zora is back. Yeah, no, Zora is back there using the hammer, not exactly getting anything out of it, but then again, there's not much movement happening in mid either. Zora does go down, strikes come out, but we're not seeing any important picks. Never mind, the charger goes down out of position. Very forward, but then again, doesn't look like the decap or the Carbon Deco are going to let up on the pressure.
Also, with that quick 2K, will now try to be the spearhead for the push. However, Pancakes does fall, so now the Rainmaker will go back into its shell here, but don't forget about this sploosh. The sploosh is ready on the flank. We see Pumpkin and also just waiting for that sploosh Zora to pop up, trying to find a pick there. Zora will find one now with the hammer, trying to quickly pop that bubble, but no, quickly shut down by the Rainmaker bubble, plus that Zuka, as now LessThanThree potentially have an opportunity to get in another great push.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zura had already taken a lot of damage, and not jumping at the right time unfortunately cost them their life, and may have actually caused them to go down. No, Zura's back in the game already, and is moving forward. I think they're going to look to Shark here, because they haven't done a lot of that this game. They've been mainly trying to use their curling bombs, not only as distractions, but as ways in. Oh, it looks like we've got a frontliner fight. The flankers are looking to duel each other, but they just disengage. Oh, hammer coming through! Unfortunately, countered with an Uno reverse card of Reslider.
Yeah, that hammer kind of got stuck. A great pick there, coming out onto Pumpkin and quickly shutting down that push. But Whale Shark Warriors, so far, we are well into the second half of this match, and they have yet to really get in a push. So they really need to start seeing if they can get these key picks. Finally, the Rainmaker will be picked up by a Whale Shark Warrior member, as they will not try to get out of this left side, as we see here Pancakes just putting on all the pressure with their bow, just trying to make sure that this Rainmaker feels as uncomfortable as possible. But with that key pick onto Pumpkin, they won't have to worry about a sharking Carbon anymore.
Indeed, indeed. Unfortunately, Whale Shark loses their charger to a very forward and very forward positioned Red. But looks like they're making up for it with some equal. Oh my goodness! 2 go down to the Rainmaker pop. Good shooting. Yeah, no, this is a clean push here. This is a clean potential clean push. Yeah, Carbon does go down. That is 3 down, 1 respawning. The Mint Decaf is going to have some reinforcements, but he needs to hold them off until then. Yep, they're here. Do we have any specials online from the 3 players up in front? No. Look, Charger's going to need... Yeah, Charger throws up a wall. Oh my goodness, yeah, though, the choke point is going to be a nightmare here. Zura's actually made it through, but they're taking chip. They need to be careful. That pushes him in further. Mint Decaf down. Hammer's ready. No! Explosion radius. Yeah, and they shut it down. That was a very stally situation, and unfortunately, I don't think they could have done much with their current comp. Good wall from the 52.
The bunker is so hard to deal with. I mean, there's a reason why it's called bunker. I mean, it is super hard to push through if you do not have the right specials at the right time. 10 seconds left now. LessThanThree can really just play keep away at this point as they have the lead. 5 seconds left. Just protect Pancake with everything you have, and game 3 will be yours. And just like that, just barely before the Rainmaker was picked, LessThanThree hold on and now threaten a gentleman's sweep.
Indeed, that was... unfortunately, I do believe that was relatively close to comp, unfortunately. Like, you want to go through bunker, you have to go through them. Like, that is unfortunately well, that's just humpback pump track. You have to figure out a way through them, through the enemy team, in that choke point. Otherwise, you're not exactly going to have a good time. Unfortunately, I think it also came down to which specials were available. Because we had a hammer come up. Unfortunately, Zura did not get to pop it in time. And the strikes had been spent getting their team to the choke point to begin with from the ZF. So that's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate case of being forced to use resources to get your team in a position where those resources would have been necessary.
Yeah, and I like how LessThanThree is playing. We saw how well the Sploosh did in game 1, and yet now back-to-back games where they've been able to really keep Zuro at bay and leave their impacts just a little bit short of what it normally is, especially with that Carbon just countering it as well. I mean, if that Carbon sees that Sploosh first, it is just game over, especially since that Carbon, I am a Carbon Deco player myself. I usually try to see if I can get in some backstabs on the Stamp and quickly shut it down, and I believe we saw that once or twice as well. And when you break the core of Whale Shark Warriors, the rest just a little bit struggles a little bit there to try to recollect themselves, as LessThanThree just kept up the pressure time and time again, and then at the end, around the 1 minute mark, they just played keep away.
Yeah, I do agree. Unfortunately, if you have a strategy that's banking on a single weapon in a comp, and like this is like it's an unfortunate case that some comps do rely on a single weapon to get things started. If you do rely on it, and that weapon goes down before things are in place, you're going to struggle to either maintain control, or you're going to be forced to retreat until that weapon is back on the field.
Yeah, and taking a look at our game 4, our potential last game of the set, if you are a fan of LessThanThree. On the other side, Whale Shark Warriors, this is your last opportunity to try to stay in this, because one more loss means you will be knocked out and LessThanThree will move on to finals here. If you win this, however, you will force game 5, and what a map mode such as Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control, because the tower path on this map specifically is a quite literal tough hill to climb, because you are at an elevation disadvantage the entire time moving up the tower.
Yes, indeed. This is one of the most infamous tower paths ever since Splatoon 1. No, 2. My bad. Yeah, ever since Splatoon 2, this map has been known as the one of the most difficult to push up. Well, to get things going on, but we've seen in the past teammates snowball on this map, and let's see what they can do here.
I'm expecting to see that custom blaster come out again for Whale Shark Warriors, because blaster can be so valuable. There it is, Kasha will be that custom blaster there, especially with that splash. And on the other side as well, we see a blaster on their side. I believe that is the vanilla range blaster. That's the vanilla blaster. Yeah, that is the vanilla blaster there with that bubble, which is going to be.
Ooh, you gotta be careful. You saw that decaf being very close to that suction bomb, playing a very dangerous game. Sploosh is already looking in. Zura is being forced out though.
Yeah, and interestingly, LessThanThree are running double bubble, which is very interesting indeed. Is maybe just trying to play around that tower. Quick stamp though will shut down the mid decapitator's push here. So trying to find an opportunity to push as although they seemingly will get the numbers advantage here as we see 2 players, now 3 players of LessThanThree go down. LessThanThree indeed as 3 players fall. Now Whale Shark Warriors will now be inching their way towards that first checkpoint and surely get it here.
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of these, yeah, like, that's the thing, like, the second their attack cooler is up, they are going to be caffeinated and going quickly, because they can afford to go down, and it's going to have a minimal consequences. But of course, even if you have the buff, if you go down at the wrong moment, it can spell the end. Never mind, they're chaining specials. Yeah, that was very destructive. From using a bubbler to protect your splashdown to having an explosive result. Oh, Zuka comes up, kills the decaf. Oh, the Blasters looking to get revenge. Yet no, barely misses, and looks like they are going to be in a bit of a scrimmage now.
I don't know if you saw it, Snug, but I just saw Zura completely snipe the bow with that hammer throw just across the map. That was really, really entertaining to see there as Whale Shark Warriors off of the back of that snipe were able to knock it down towards the 18-point mark and almost cap the 3rd checkpoint, but not quite here as now finally LessThanThree are able to clamp down and are now moving to try to threaten their own checkpoint here. 2 specials are available, the mid decavitator's bubble now, the Zuka actually quickly shut down by Zura.
Zura forced a bubble! Zura forced bubble very early on that because they took out Blaster and they managed to get behind the decaf to force them to pop. Unfortunately, yeah, you are right. Hammer is one of those weapons where you aren't safe. If you think that if you as a backline attempt to be like, I'm safe from the hammer, no you're not. I can throw it. And unfortunately, decaf taking a very aggressive push does not have any support behind them. Hammer! Oh my goodness. Watch where you're going when you back up. Look where you're going. Oh my goodness. Suddenly Hammer behind you, am I right?
Yeah, I mean, you can compare the hammer to basically just a unstoppable train. It's just gonna keep going, run through everything and cause disruption in his path. We see a Blaster 1v1 here going in favor of Pumpkin there, and now it really allows LessThanThree to try to take control of mid here. The map mostly blue now. We see Ulta on this left side. Bubble is available, will be quickly used, just trying to get their team to push towards this first checkpoint because you need to take baby steps here. Yeah, double bubble.
That first bubble to achieve a foothold, and the second bubble to help continue with the path. Hammer is actually Zura is still alive. Hammer is probably close to being ready, and a splashdown will clear tower and keep them and get them pushing backwards. Zura, again, being very good at staying alive. It's a sploosh, for goodness sake. Oh my goodness, they have to another... Yeah, oh my goodness. I want to actually talk about this. Zura is forcing so many resources upon themselves to force them to get down. Like, LessThanThree is using so many players and specials to find Zura at points, and that's costing them dearly. Like I said, oh my goodness, I just realized another bubble comes out, actually.
Yeah, just trying to get the second checkpoint. Pancakes, being that designated tower rider, the back line of LessThanThree, just trying to create some space, will eventually get out of Danger's path as they will continue to be that spine of the team, just applying this pressure onto Whale Shark Warriors, forcing the decaf back a little bit and forcing them to just wait for another opportunity. A quick strike, though, onto Ulta will open things up as they will try to pave their way towards them. Tower not quite enough as 2 players will fall. Now 3 players, Keely for Whale Shark Warriors. This is huge for the push. This is huge for the comeback.
Yeah, Pencil staying alive, doing their job. Doesn't actually... No! No! Decaf got caught in the crossfire. But looks like... Oh my goodness. Sploosh on point. Yeah, okay, get close to the sploosh. Yeah, Death Trumpet. Oh my goodness, I didn't know how to commentate that because that was such a bit of a cluster. It was hard to keep track of things. Because, unfortunately, Decaf got caught by the Zuka, and I thought it was over. But, it looks like Zura manages to pull a clutch out again. No, you can't. Oh, the trade on the hammer, the hitbox intersection.
Yeah, and Keely, Whale Shark Warriors will maintain lead here. 10 seconds left. They need to get on this point. LessThanThree, that is. Pancakes hopping on, but the decaf is there for the quick shark. Pumpkin, now being the designated tower rider, has to continue on now. Keely in overtime, a player needs to stay on the tower the entire time, but not if they get wiped out, not if LessThanThree gets wiped out at the end. And guess what? We are going to Game 5 now.
You love to see it.
I cannot be more excited.
Oh my goodness. There were moments there I apologize for not being able to keep up. I wasn't expecting those quick turns. Like, again, if I can call back to the Zuka aimed at the pencil, taking out the decaf he was trying to drop into the uninkable lane to get up there to get close. That was such an unfortunate case of literally wrong sightline, wrong time. And then you've also got Zura just being like gets and then immediately after Zura turns the tables again, killing I think it was almost all 4 players in quick succession to get to result in a counter push.
I mean, welcome to Splatoon 3. It's just so designated on these quick individual fights that happen in a matter of moments that it's just super hard to really keep track of here. But yeah, like I wanted to mention Zero, just Keely, although they went 3 players down, Zero being that last player was able to hop on that tower, stall it out just in time. I believe it was only 3 ticks before LessThanThree were able to take the lead there, but Keely getting that 3 kills, being able to quickly shut down that push, it really allowed LessThanThree to, or excuse me, Whale Warriors to just shut the door on that comeback. But now it is all down to Mako zones here, and I believe the keys for both these teams will be controlling their stack.
Yeah, indeed. I think one of the best bits of fortune that Zura had there was the fact that the first pick in that 4-player kill streak at the end was the blaster, because had they not taken out the blaster, they would have been forced to drop off tower very early. Unfortunately for LessThanThree, that was not the case. So they were forced to try and face check a sploosh who was already shooting while coming up a wall. So you can't exactly do anything about that except get deleted.
Yeah, and I want to take a little bit of focus off of this match in particular and take a look at the other one. We are also in a Game 5 in our other semifinal set between Proceed, Parade, and the 5 Wishes. They are also going to Game 5, so these semis have been super, super close, and that really just goes to show how intense this is, because all these teams pretty much seem very, very equal to each other. So I'm interested to see who comes out of that matchup, and I'm interested to see who comes out of this one, and what adaptations in terms of weapons we might see here. I mean, we saw a Carbon being pulled out from LessThanThree on Humpback Pump Track, and it worked pretty well for them here. And maybe we can see a little bit of return for that, because it did end up leading them to victory here. Especially, it would work really, really well on a map such as Mako with those ledges.
I do agree. I think having something that can check the sploosh and force it to be a little scared is a great thing, because a sharking weapon that doesn't have someone that's also sharking, I think, can definitely give it a lot more freedom. Like again, a sploosh that's not worried about just suddenly getting jumped when it's moving is a sploosh that's just going to get very, very aggressive. But if the player knows that somebody might be around a corner or just waiting for them in the no man's land, then they're definitely gonna like slow their approach a bit. And I think that's definitely something they might want here for zones, especially because there's a lot of flank routes here, especially on Mega Mart. You've got plenty of ways to get into mid and into the back.
Blasters, blasters, blasters. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a return of blasters, like I mentioned before, how well a Carbon Deco can really, and any roller in particular, can really camp those ledges. Blasters can do the same, just being able to apply that pressure, apply that AoE pressure to just basically deny an entire side of the map is just super, super powerful. We see here a very standard comp coming out from one side on the other. I believe these two teams have just resorted back to their bread and butter, which I love to see here, as this is the entire set on the line. It is do or die time now. Let's see what these two teams will start off as.
I'm definitely interested to see. Because, wow, Zero's been completely left alone. And then again, I don't think anybody spotted them. Aria is going to pay the price for their teammates' lack of awareness. Unfortunately, that is the case. You get snuck up on. Good jump out. Hammer's going to get thrown. Does somebody run into it? Almost! Altaria off of respawn, almost getting killed again by the hammer throw.
Yeah, life comes at you fast, and just like that, Whale Shark Warriors will have control of the zone, force that little bit of penalty onto LessThanThree, but Keely creates so much space for themselves. We see Alta trying to create space for themselves as they are able to take out that jump. 2 players now fall for Whale Shark Warriors. Oh, sorry, Whale Shark Warriors, excuse me. As LessThanThree are able to retake the zone in quick succession, now trying to force Whale Shark Warriors to be delayed here, as we see this Mythic Cavalier try to create space. Unfortunately, will go down there, so now a little bit of staggering on the spawns. Keely, Keely, this, excuse me, Decab, not Decab, Dredge, jeez, I am just losing my words here. This decap has been able to just is just shut down quickly by this Dredge, just constant Dredge pressure, and we saw they're shut down by the stand.
Oh my goodness, yeah, both teams getting very aggressive towards one another here. Unfortunately, it looks like LessThanThree is going to come out on top of this in the scrimmage. But looks like they're losing players at the same time. They've been chipped down by the pencil in the back, and big hitboxes are going to finish them off. And it looks like Wellshot Warriors will take zone, but it's quickly getting painted over again. But those strikes just doing most of the work, alongside some good paint from the Sploosh. Now we see Zero going into the enemy backline with a hammer ready. Do they do anything with it? No! Nobody noticed they were just sticking in the corner. Hammer might come out here. No, Zero's looking to just point blank people. Again, good evasive, extremely good evasive, wasting time. And Tekion coming in to finish off some very damaged players here. So that's extremely key here for the comeback.
Something key as well. They don't have any penalty to worry about here. However, LessThanThree has plenty of penalty to worry about. They also have to worry about this mid-decavitator who is now in the back line of LessThanThree. This Dread Ringer just trying to use the Reef Slider, just trying to get that quick reset. However, it won't work. 2 players are keyly down for LessThanThree. Now it is do or die time. Ari is the last player standing now for LessThanThree. They need to make a move in now as the zone is all blue. 5 ticks left. 4, 3, 2, 1. And just like that, a very, very strong showing from Whale Shark Warriors, and they will be the first team to move on to Grand Finals.
I think what came in, well, yeah, that was an insane strong counter push there. They stayed cool and they managed to maintain zone through a lot, while also managing to keep some of their resources for a continuation on the hold. Because unfortunately for them, they did not manage to find Zero when they were trying to sneak through. And, well, that just resulted in 2 people getting backstabbed and Tekion coming in the back. Coming in off the back of that small little 2-man. And, well, just staying there. Because they pop bubble in their court. So, I can't exactly say that's going to be an easy one to dislodge. Especially when you've got other priorities, such as the zone that's ticking down. And you've got, well, 2 players off.
Solution Decaf, that was the 1-2 punch for Whale Shark Warriors. We saw both those players very, very often just in the back line of LessThanThree, just not allowing any backlines, just any space to breathe. I mean, we saw plenty of times Pancakes was just running for the hills, trying to find an opportunity to really set up, but they just found themselves quickly getting picked off and backstabbed pretty much, and that allowed Whale Shark Warriors to kind of control the pace of the game, not allow any opportunity for LessThanThree to settle, and with that, they move on to finals. And actually, our other finals team is already decided here, as we see the 5 Wishes punch their ticket in a close game 5 as well. So that will be our finals matchup here: Whale Shark Warriors versus the 5 Wishes.